Hi everybody, Brother Paul here. Glad that you can watch this video. I pray that as you watch this short recording, that you enjoy the goodness, the grace, the loving kindness of God. Today, the passage I'm going to take from is Psalms 118. Psalms 118, just the first 9 verse. I'm reading from the New King James Version. So bear with me, or let's go together and read it from the New King James Version and see what God has for us today, right? And it goes that way. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Let Israel now say, his mercy endures forever. Let the house of Aaron now say, his mercy endures forever. Let those who fear the Lord now say, his mercy endures forever. Just want to stop there. 4 times in the first 4 verses, we read about this. His mercy endures forever. You know, the word mercy in the Hebrew is chesed. And chesed or hesed is also translated into loving kindness, goodness, mercy, and then a Jewish translator also translated it into grace at one time. So whether we want to use whichever word, because the Hebrew language is so beautiful, there are multiple meaning in one word. We can say his loving kindness endures forever. His goodness to you endures forever. His mercy when we fail, his grace when we don't deserve it, endures forever. But the thing is this, just in the first 4 verses, I read and suddenly it caught me that the writer of Psalms 118, it's quite a long psalm, but in Psalms 118, the writer starts by doing this. He says, let Israel now say, which is the nation of Israel, now the spiritual Israel. Let the house of Aaron, the priesthood, let those who fear the Lord, those who worship God, those who believe in Jesus Christ, let us all say, God's goodness, God's mercy, God's loving kindness, God's grace endures forever. And do you know, beloved, God does His goodness, His mercy, His tender loving kindness do endure forever. Do you know why? Because He so loves you. Because you and I, we are precious in the eyes of Abba Father. Simply because of Jesus' finished work. It says this in verse 4, let those who fear the Lord now say, his mercy endures forever. Verse 5 says this, I call on the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a broad place. Think about this. You know, I do not know about you, but me, personally, I'm a bit claustrophobic. So I don't like tight spaces. So, you know, having this lockdown with this COVID-19 pandemic doesn't help me a lot. So I tend to pace in my house. Sometimes I walk out to the corridor because I live in a very small apartment compared to a lot of many other countries that I've gone to. Your houses is a lot bigger. Some of your bedrooms is equivalent to 2 of my bedroom in one room. So, you know, you are really, really blessed. But nevertheless, because I am claustrophobic in that sense, I get not stressed or distressed, but I like broad places. And the idea of a broad place is the freedom, the chance for you to just relax and breathe in. And God hears you. And when does He do that? He does that when you and I are in distress and we call out to Him. But 3 times the Bible record this. Let Israel now say, let the house of Aaron now say, let those who fear God now say. The thing is this, you and I, we need to continuously say, for our benefit, for our family, for our church, for our business, for our job, for our health, and for those who are around us, those who we love, those who we care, those that we may know and are going through a hard time, that we can pray on their behalf, that we can speak on their behalf to the Lord and says this, God's goodness be upon you, God's mercy be upon you, God's loving kindness be upon you, and may they endure forever in your life. And the thing is this, it does, because God is love and God is faithful. And above all, He is our Abba Father, because you and I, who are born again, receive our Lord Jesus Christ, we have been made children of the living God. Let's look at verse 6. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? How many of us, as we go through a difficult time, sometimes we look up to God, and because we can't see God physically, what do? We look for the next best thing. Somebody who is an authority, somebody whom we respect, and yet we find that they are limited, even though they want to, even though they care, even though they do love us, but they are limited in their ability. But do you know what the Bible tells us? He says that when you know that God is on your side, you don't need to fear, because with God, all things are possible. I challenge you, because I have gone through it myself often, many times, that when things look particularly impossible to me, that I look to the Lord and I see it may take some time, but I see that the Lord in the end deliver in such a fashion that is beyond my ability to imagine, my ability to think. And truly Ephesians 3:20 does come true to my life, and I'm quite sure to many of you, when it says, now unto Him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, far above all that we can think or imagine. It says, the Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? Verse 7 of Psalms 118. The Lord is for me among those who help me. Therefore I shall see my desire on those who hate me. Well, what do we do for those who hate us? We pray for them today. What do we do for those who curse us? We bless them. We pray that God's grace that endures forever for you and I, God's grace and mercy and loving kindness be upon them, that they too can share in the goodness of God. And then it goes like this. It is better, verse 8, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. First of all, say, what can man do to me? Next, don't put your confidence in man. I have many good friends, lot of wonderful friends. I have some friends who, they are very kind, but yet sometimes, even in my past own experience, I rely on them, and not that they deliberately fail me, but it just couldn't deliver what they wanted to deliver. It is beyond their ability, and I do not blame them. But guess what? It tells us this. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in men. And last verse 9 says, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. Whoever you have, a prince must be a person of a lot of resources, a lot of ability. But because mankind are so fickle, we are impulsive. One moment we like you, next moment we hate you. But you know something? You can guess and guess and guess who will help you, but you can know for sure. God is always there for you. So beloved, even though you and I may not see God physically, it is still better to trust in the Word of God. It is still better to trust in the goodness of God than to trust in man. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you, and may your eyes always behold Jesus Christ, your Lord, your Savior, and you take confidence that you are a child of God. God bless you. Have a blessed, blessed day. Bye-bye.